A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you all are fine. Oh, I am feeling so nostalgic today. I just remember the days when I was a child, how I used to enjoy with my friends and how we used to play together during the games period, and we were supposed to follow the rules, but some of the children they could not follow the rules and they tried to cheat the teachers. And see, those were so joyful days, joys full of joyfulness in them. And still I remember those days, and I was just innocent at that time. I had that childish ignorance in me. Similarly, the poet child Thomas Hood is also remembering once in a day when he wrote this poem. He is also remembering that when he was a child, what childish ignorance he had, and now when he has grown old, what difference does it make? What opinion has changed? How the opinion has changed, and how he thinks and understands the realities of life when he has become old. And earlier, what he used to think, how he used to think. So, how can that change be brought when a child is a small child and when he grows up? How he understands the realities of life. He faces the difficulties, he faces the obstacles in his life, and then he finds out the ways to overcome it. And then like this, he becomes matured person. He understands the reality of life. When you were young, you might be thinking that the trees are growing. You didn't know that the trees are also breathing like us, but now you know that the trees are also breathing like us. You have come to know by doing experiments, you have come to know that the leaves have also got cells in them. Just as we have got cells in us, in the same way leaves have also got cells in them, and the animals have also got cells in them. So these are the facts which you've come across now when you are grown up. So earlier you might not be thinking like this. In the same way, this poet Thomas Hood has also written this poem, I remember, and he remembers the days when he was young, and he is comparing those days to now when he has grown old. So this poem is not understood by many students, so I am going to explain it to you once again, but I will not take much of your time. I will explain it in very short. Pay attention. I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon, not brought too long a day. But now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. So here in this first stanza, he says that he still remembers the house where he was born, and there was a bedroom, there was a window in the bedroom, and through the windows the rays of the sun could reach, and that is why it says that the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. Every morning the sun could come peeping in through the window. Peeping in through the window, here it refers, the sun refers to person, so it is personification also. It is considered as a person. So that is why the poet says, the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morning. Every morning, suppose this is the bedroom of the poet. Suppose this is the bedroom of the poet, and suppose here there is a bed, here there is a window. Okay, so and suppose the sun, every morning the sun rose. So here it is saying that every morning the sun could peep in through the window. Through the window, the rays of the sun could reach where he was lying. Suppose the poet is lying down here. Suppose this is the bed of the poet, and the poet is lying down here. So he says that every morning the sun could peep in at the right time. Always it was punctual. It never came a wink too soon. It came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon. He never came a wink too soon means wink. What is wink? Wink is when we are opening and closing of eyes. See, wink. One wink, two wink, three wink. So it says that the sun was always on time. It never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day. Neither the day was also not long being lingered by the sun. He always wanted the sun to be of a longer duration, but the sun was always on time. It never lingered on for the poet, so that the see during the daytime we can play, we can enjoy, and daytime is full of joy also. And these poets, when they depict daytime, so they show joyfulness, they show happiness, they don't show gloominess. So here it says that every morning, that is why childhood is depicted, it is symbolized as morning time. That childhood and morning, they both are equalizing each other. And then it says, he never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day. But now he is relating to night, and he is saying that I often wish the night had borne my breath away. He wished that I could not get up anymore. The day, he wishes that the night had borne my breath away means I had never woken up. Because if I had never woken up, if I had died at that time, so I would not have faced the reality of life. I would have been innocent. I would have never known how bad this life is, how many obstacles are there in this life, how much one has to face in this life. We have to face calamities, we have to face difficulties, we have to face ups and downs in our life. So he says that I wish that the night, I often wish the night had borne my breath away. Means I had never woken up. So here he is relating with night. Childhood is related to morning, and here in his olden days he is relating to night. Coming to the second stanza. Now from house he has come to his garden. I remember the roses red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light, the lilacs where the robin built, and where my brother set the laburnum on his birthday. The tree is living yet. So it says that I still remember the roses. There was a garden in his house. So it says that I still remember the garden. There were the roses. Roses were of white color and red color. There were the violets. Violets are also the flowers of violet color. And there were the lily cups. And those flowers were full of light. Made of light means they were extremely beautiful. And the lilacs. The lilacs are the trees in which they are the small plants. Lilacs are the small plants. They are like shrubs. So the robins built nest in that lilacs. The robin built nest. Robin is a bird. Robin built nest over there. And where my brother set the laburnum on his birthday, and he was gifted a laburnum tree on his birthday, and that laburnum tree was also set in the garden, and they used to sit there, they used to enjoy birthday over there. And then he says the tree is living yet. Now this thing shows that even though the people die, his brother is no more now. And he says that my brother and I used to play here, now my brother is no more, but the tree is still living there. And with this I remember the line, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. This is the line which is said by the brook. So in the poem The Brook. So this shows that the natural things, the natural beings, the nature will remain as it is, and the human beings, we can come and we can go, we may die, we may again Our revival will be done by rebirth, and then we will die also. So the death and the rebirth, this is a continuous process. This goes on in continuation. But the natural things, the lake, the trees, the flowers will produce seeds, and if we sow the seeds, then seeds will produce new trees, so new flowers. So like this the process will go on. That is why it is saying here that the tree is still living. My brother is no more, but the tree is still living. Now coming to the third stanza. I remember where I used to swing, and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. So it says that when he used to swing, there was a swing. Suppose this is a tree, and there he used to swing. Underneath the tree, there he used to swing, and when he was going up and down in the swing, when he was coming forth, back and forth, so when he was in the swing, he thought that he was touching the sky, touching the swallows. Swallows are the birds. So he thought that he was having wings, and he could be like the swallows. Here it says, and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wings. He thought that the air is moving as fast as the swallows, and he thought that he is also having wings just as the swallows, and he is also moving just like the swallows. My spirit flew in feathers then, and he says that his spirits were like the swallows. He felt joy at the smallest of the thing. He was joyous. He felt that he was joyful at the minutest thing also. He could get joy in simple things also. When he was in the swing, when he saw the flowers, when he saw the trees, when he saw the roses, different colors, and when he used to play, he used to enjoy. So he found joy even in the minutest thing. My spirit flew in feathers then. That is so heavy now. Now the comparison. That spirit has become so heavy now that I think that I am overburdened with that spirit. I cannot feel that joy now. I cannot feel that I have wings. I can touch, I can move as fast as air. So he says that now my wings have become heavy. I cannot fly. Earlier he used to think that he is flying like swallows by having feathers. But now he is saying, no, my feathers have become so weak. I cannot move anymore because of the anxiety, because of the tension in his heart and mind and soul. And then he says, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. And he says that he is so full of tension that even the summer pools cannot bring joy to him and cannot cool his tension and anxiety and anger and the gloominess which he has in his old age now. Coming to the fourth stanza. I remember the fir trees dark and high. Now when he used to see the fir trees, suppose the fir trees are here, the fir trees were tall, so he thought that they were touching the sky. He thought that they had slender tops and the tops were delicate and they could touch the sky. So he says, I used to think that the slender tops were close against the sky, they were touching the sky. It was a childish ignorance. Now he is saying that it was a childish ignorance because it was his innocence to think like that. At that time he didn't know the facts, he didn't know the reality of life. That is why he thought like that. But now, 'tis little joy to know that I am farther off from heaven. So he says that when I was a child, I was closer to God because I used to have those heavenly joys. But now, since I have known the reality of life, since I have passed my ages, my years, and I have known what are the ups and downs of life, what is the reality of life. So now I cannot feel that heavenly joy, and it seems to me that I am not so innocent. I am farther off from heaven. I am not so innocent than when I was a boy. When I was a boy, I was so innocent, and